What's going on, everybody? I got something pretty cool for my four-wheeler. I got some floorboards. So these are the 5008 Strong Made for the 300s. Fits all models, two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. The issue I was running into is when I was trying to ride with my one-year-old son, trying to carry him in one arm while trying to step and get on the four-wheeler, it was kind of a pain. So I'm hoping what this will do is kind of make it to where I can step on here a little bit easier and he and I can go riding. Now I opened up the box to check to make sure everything was here, but this is how it comes. These are individually wrapped and laid in here. Then you have a bolt bag as well as a sticker. The sticker kind of got crumpled up just a bit just from being in the bolt bag, but that's no big deal. Overall quality, I'm pretty impressed. These things are clean. And to be what it is, they're gonna get tore up and beat up, so I'm not too worried about it. Now, one thing I did do, they come with these little end caps to cover up your tubing right here. For whatever reason, mine came, and this in here didn't have any paint or powder coat, whatever they use, and the edge was actually pretty rusty already. So I took some black Krylon and just sprayed it in there. And I know these are gonna go on top of it anyway, but it just makes me feel a little bit better. Now overall, how these work, they slide into place and you've got two holes on the front side of your peg that go all the way through. They bolt there, and then there's a U-bracket that bolts to your frame. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I should be able to actually keep this piece right here, which I'm hoping, because mine's got the fender flares on it and I'd really rather not take them off. So to get started, from what I can tell, we're gonna need an 18 mil, an 11 mil, and I've got ratchets set up for both. And if I end up needing something else, I'll make sure to include it or tell you. That way you can kind of have a heads up. So starting over here on the passenger side, you can kind of get a feel for what we got going on. U-bolt goes around the frame itself. Two bolts slide in through the peg. And then we also have an extender for our brake, and we'll get into that in a little bit. So it's hard to see, but I've got the first bolt started in. We've got two different size bolts. We have a short one and a long one. The long one's gonna go on the back side, closest to the motor, and the short one's gonna go on the front. The back one as well has a spacer that goes in between, inside of the peg, to keep everything from not collapsing. So getting the spacer in between the peg while also trying to get your fingers in there is proving to be a challenge. What I've found is a little magnet. Hook that to the end of it, and I can actually feed it in through the peg. And then once you get that fed through, another washer and a nylon lock nut go on the end. So now I've snugged both bolts down and I haven't messed with the U-bolt in the front. I left everything loose because once I get everything semi-tightened, I want to be able to adjust this back and forth just a hair to where I want it and then tighten everything down. So I got the U-bolt put in around the frame. One thing to keep in mind, unlike the pegs that use nylon lock nuts, lock washers and regular nuts are used on the frame. Now as far as the brake extension goes, we've got the pedal itself, a spacer, a washer, and a nut that goes on the end. It looks like there's a little bit of play, so you can kind of put it wherever you want it. You can move it out, move it in. I'm gonna start by putting mine as far out as I can. And then from there, I can adjust it and move it if need be. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, a lock washer goes on the bottom side as well. So you're gonna have the washer, a lock washer, and then the nut on the bottom side. Pedal and the plastic spacer go on top. I'm not going to bore you with doing the other side, but it should be a pretty straightforward process. Overall, they look really good. All right, we are done. Both sides are put on. This side was a little bit more of a pain, not going to lie, just because the front axle was in the way, so it was kind of a pain to get up under there. But we got it done. These things are stout. I don't think I'll have an issue at all. Much more comfortable Doesn't move around at all. Overall, I like them. So if you have any questions on these floorboards or the four-wheeler in general, just leave them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer anything I can. These floorboards aren't cheap, I'm not gonna lie to you, but for my purpose, I think it's gonna work out wonderfully. Till next time.